There are so many amazing foods to try in Japan and only so much time to try it all. Today we will dive into the must-try foods in Japan, and some of these you may have forgotten about. Let's go eat in Japan.
The next station is Tokyo.
Hey guys, Hoang here, and today we are going to dive into the top foods in Japan along with where you can find them so that you can make your next trip as tasty as possible. Let's start off with one of the most iconic Japanese foods there is. When you think Japanese food, you think, that's right, cheesecake. Wait, sushi. You think sushi. We'll get back to cheesecake later. Did you know that sushi originally started as a street food? This was back in the 1800s during the Edo period of Japan in the streets of Edo, which is now modern day Tokyo. Contrary to popular belief, the fish is not the main part of sushi, but rather the rice is the main attraction. The word sushi itself translates to sour rice, referring to the rice being prepared with vinegar. So if you're ordering sushi, you are getting rice with a side of fish. Let's start at the top with the most expensive sushi. The Guinness World Record for the most expensive sushi was sold by Sushi Kiriman in Osaka, Japan on July 25th, 2023 for a staggering 350,000 yen or $2,457.34. But at those prices, who's counting the cents? This was the Kiwami Omakase course for one, featuring 20 pieces of sushi using the finest ingredients from around the world, and of course it was topped with gold leaf. If you want a premium fancy sushi experience in Japan, then odds are you want omakase. Omakase literally translates to "I'll leave it up to you." An omakase meal is you leaving it up to the chef to make the menu whatever they want. There's no single best omakase place because each one is as unique as the chef there. The atmosphere and the interactions are just as much a part of the meal as the food itself. Most places need reservations many months in advance. That being said, here are a few locations that you can check out. First is the top Michelin star recommended place, Mutsukari in Ginza. Its location makes it quite convenient, but it gets crowded fast. The food here is top notch, but again, because of the location and how convenient it is, you want to make sure that you get your reservation in well in advance. For a more unique experience, check out the Bellwood, which is a bar in Shibuya. This location has a secret area with only 4 seats, making it a very unique omakase sushi experience. So if you have 3 friends with you or don't mind making a few new friends, this might be worth checking out. But if you have a larger party, this might not work out. Lastly is Sushi Matsura, which is in Minato City, which is a bit south of the major things in Tokyo, but if you're in the area, this one is worth checking out as well. So what about cheaper non-omakase sushi? You can find this all over Japan as well. And in my personal opinion, you should check out a conveyor belt sushi place where you can get more of a fun sushi experience. Kura Sushi is a chain that has expanded to the United States, and their flagship location is in Oshiage Station at the base of the Tokyo Skytree, making it a great place to stop if you are already visiting the Skytree. Kura does have a traditional conveyor belt system where the sushi does go by, but you are also able to order what you want and it will come on a separate conveyor belt to your table directly. The unique thing about Kura is that after eating a certain amount of plates, you get a prize from their gachapon system. The prizes change out every so often, so that makes it unique as well. My personal favorite conveyor belt sushi place in Tokyo is Uobe in Shibuya, right next to the famous Shibuya Crossing Scramble, making it very convenient to go to. This location has an ordering system for each person, and you order what you want and it comes directly to you on a conveyor belt. Prices are great and the food is amazing, so this place is a win-win. Nemuro Hanamaru, right next to Tokyo Station, is one of the most popular conveyor belt sushi places in Tokyo, with its true conveyor belt style, where the sushi is placed on the belt and you take what you want. This spot shouldn't be missed, though it can get very crowded here. Lastly, Sushiro is a chain in Japan with many locations where you can get conveyor belt sushi. One final thing to note is that in Japan, most sushi is nigiri. So if you are coming from somewhere like the United States, finding a California roll or a roll of any kind will be harder to come by. Not impossible, but most of the time you will see nigiri. I will say that when I was at Uobe in Shibuya, they did have a few rolls, like a California roll surprisingly, but those were not nearly as good as the nigiri, so I definitely would recommend getting nigiri. Okay, let's finally move on from sushi to something else. The next food item is something that can be an appetizer, a side, or an entree. This is gyoza. Japanese gyozas or pot stickers are essentially fried dumplings. The gyozas are typically pan-fried on the bottom, and sometimes when they are cooked together in a pan can be flipped over to showcase the fried crispy side. If you want some amazing top-notch gyozas, what better place to go than one with gyoza in the name itself? This location is Gyoza no Fukuho in Shinjuku, and it is a pretty popular place to fill your gyoza craving. Their lunch special gets you 2 orders of gyozas and a bowl of rice and soup for under 600 yen, which is around $4 US. Can't beat that deal. One of the most popular gyoza restaurants can be found in Shibuya in the Harajuku area called Harajuku Gyoza Roll. This location can have a wait as it is fairly popular, but the line does move fairly quickly, and once you're in, the food comes quick, probably because they're just cooking up gyozas non-stop. Lastly, if you're in the Chiyoda city area of Tokyo, then check out Kanda Gyozaya to get your fix of gyozas. Most of these places serve more than just gyozas, and most serve Chinese food along with the gyozas, but these places specialize in gyozas and are well worth it. Third, let's dive into the classic street food staple, Yakatori. When walking around Japan, you will often catch the scent of smoky grilled chicken, which will lead you to Japan's version of a chicken skewer, the Yakatori. Yakatori is a classic izakaya dish, or the Japanese equivalent of a small appetizer. Speaking of izakaya-styled street food, one of the best places in Japan to get this style of food and to enjoy tons of yakitori skewers is in Tokyo, specifically Shinjuku. You can go to Omoide Yokocho, also known as Memory Lane, which is an area filled with these izakaya style shops and where you can get skewers galore. There are around 60 small bars and restaurants here in this narrow alleyway, and it feels much more of a cultural experience than your typical restaurant area. And the whole meaning behind the name Memory Lane is that it is an ode to the nostalgic post-war black market days, or old world Japan. Aside from the food, this area is a cultural experience, so it is definitely worth the visit. Going outside of Tokyo for another cultural food experience, you can get great izakaya food and drinks in Kyoto at the Ponchoto area, which is the riverside area known for its izakayas, and you can get plenty of yakitori here. Lastly, one of the more iconic spots to get yakitori is in Osaka, specifically in the Dotonbori area or the Shinsekai area, both of which are lined with street food vendors and plenty of yakitori, amongst other popular street foods. Something that you may notice as we look at Google Maps is that their ratings for a lot of these places may be relatively low. Ratings in Japan tend to use a full 5-star range, so eating at a 3-star place doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. Most ratings in Japan are around the 3 to 4-star point, and that's considered pretty good. On to our next food item, and this is an interesting one. Onigiri is a classic Japanese snack or portable meal. It is a rice ball, typically shaped like triangles, wrapped in seaweed, and often has savory fillings like salmon or tuna. There are some special places for those of you who are die-hard onigiri fans, so let's go over some. Onigiri Asakusa Yaruroku is a place that claims to be the oldest onigiri restaurant in Tokyo. Although not officially starred, this restaurant is recommended by the Michelin Food Guide. Which, if you ask me why a tire company is recommending food to the world, is beyond me, but I digress. This onigiri restaurant is one of the most famous in Tokyo, so for the true onigiri fans out there, this is a must stop. Another must stop location for the onigiri lover is Mitsubiya in Shinjuku, Tokyo. This shop makes amazing quality onigiri, and its attention to detail shows how wonderful the food tastes. You can get onigiri almost anywhere because one place to get it is the most convenient in Japan, and that is convenience stores. There are 3 major convenience store brands in Japan, and that is Family Mart, Lawson, and 7-Eleven, each with its own set of onigiri. If you aren't familiar with convenience stores in Japan, let me tell you, they are your one-stop shop for all snacks and food. Moving on to our next item at number 5, we have yet another classic, udon. This popular dish is made of wheat noodles, and the region known for udon is Kagawa Prefecture, where it is said that locals consume 7 times more udon than the average Japanese person. A good way to know if a restaurant is good is if the locals are eating there, and this udon spot you will find lines of office workers and students waiting for a spot to enjoy some udon. This spot is Udon Maruka in Chiyoda City, right next to Kanda Gyoza, which we mentioned earlier. This udon spot typically has a line, but it moves fast as people put in their orders while still standing outside in line, and when you get in, you will have food in front of you fairly quickly, keeping things moving along. Another great udon location if you are closer to Tokyo Station is Sanuki Udon Taniya. Here at this great udon location, they do have more unique seasonal udon dishes here with their sardine-infused broth, creating more deep and special tastes, making this a great place to stop at. Now leaving Tokyo and going to the Kagawa Prefecture, the udon capital of Japan, you won't want to miss out on the more unique udon options here. Surumaru is a legendary udon restaurant with its iconic dish, the curry udon. You love Japanese curry and you love udon? Well, this is your dream come true. Another more unique udon location is Udon Baka Ichidai. At this unique udon restaurant, you will be able to make your own udon as you go through the self-service area, where you will choose your udon toppings and sides. Their most famous udon is the Kama butter udon, which is udon with butter and pepper and no soup. It sounds unique, and it is, and will leave you wanting to go back for more. Moving along to one of the most Japanese meat items, this next food is none other than Wagyu beef. Known for its insane marbling, A5 Wagyu is something you shouldn't miss, as its rich flavor will leave you speechless, as it just simply melts in your mouth. If you want to try out some Wagyu without committing to a massive expensive steak in Tokyo, then go to the Tsukiji Outer Market and try Wagyu Juju. Here you can get A5 Wagyu beef on a skewer that they cook in front of you. Wagyu Juju does close at 2:30 p.m. each day, and the market itself closes around the same time. Now, instead of just a single skewer, if you want all you can eat Wagyu, then try Nabizo, which is an all-you-can-eat Wagyu hot pot place, which has several locations in Tokyo. When I went to their location in Shinjuku, the staff was so friendly, and it was one of the best experiences we had at a restaurant in Japan. You can clearly see the difference between the regular beef and the Wagyu beef. The marbling is insane. Lastly, in my opinion, one of the best places to get Wagyu beef is in Kyoto at Gyukatsu. This Kyoto-based chain does have a few locations, including Tokyo. However, it originates from Kyoto. And if you are in the area, don't miss this. You get to cook it to your liking, allowing everyone to enjoy it as they wish. If you want to go to the luxury levels of Wagyu dining, then let's talk about that. Kikunoi Wagyu Unshu in the Gion district of Kyoto is your place, offering a refined Wagyu experience from a restaurant with over 100 years of history. This is an Omakase Wagyu restaurant where the chef will showcase the wonderful and diverse styles and flavors of Wagyu. But you should know that it starts at 54,000 yen or around $350. So if you wanted to throw down on an Omakase experience but aren't as into sushi, then this is a great, albeit expensive alternative. Lastly, if you heard 54,000 yen and said, that's for peasants, I need something even more luxurious, well, check out Yakatabune Izanagi in Shinagawa, Tokyo. This is an Omakase Wagyu experience aboard a lantern-lit boat that will take you on a scenic cruise around Tokyo Bay as you eat the finest Wagyu beef Japan has to offer. This insane experience starts at 89,500 yen or around $600 per person. Okay, moving away from Wagyu, let's look at some seafood. This may seem similar to sushi, but it's not sushi. First, we'll look at sashimi, which is typically raw fish, though it can be other meats as well and does not include rice, hence not sushi. If you want sashimi, check out Matsuria Yamahana in Sapporo. This conveyor belt restaurant has some of the finest sashimi in all of Japan, with its fresh fish straight from the sea nearby. If you want sashimi that's literally as fresh as it can get, go to Toyozu Fish Market, where you can get fish prepared literally from the catch that was just brought in for the day. It doesn't get more authentic than this. Okay, there might be one other place. The Fishing Restaurant Zhao. If you go to one of these locations, like the location in Shinjuku, you get to literally fish for what you want to eat, and they will prepare what you've caught for you. You can get it as sashimi or deep fry it as tempura or whatever else you want. This is a pretty unique experience and can be fun if you want to work a bit for your food. Now, the other seafood thing that you need to try is fugu, and though try it at your own risk. In short, the puffer fish is extremely poisonous, and chefs do have to be licensed to prepare fugu, as preparing it wrong could kill you. However, eating fugu in Japan is very safe. Just make sure you go to well-known places. If you want to try this delicacy out, then go to Japan's first ever fugu restaurant, which is Shunpanro. This is not a cheap place by any means. If you want something a bit more affordable, you can try Kinkuchi in Ueno, Tokyo, where you can get fugu for around 4,000 yen or $25. The next item on our list is another type of noodle, and this is soba noodles. Soba noodles are found all over Japan, but the best place to get it is in the Nagano prefecture because of its local buckwheat and pristine water. Kitanoya Soba is a restaurant that has been open for over 100 years in Nagano, and you can get amazing soba noodles here for very affordable prices, like their lunch deal for 1,200 yen or around $8. If you don't have time to make your way to Nagano, then Kyoto is another amazing place for soba noodles. Here you can go to Gontaro Okazaki in Kyoto. You can order soba noodles cold or hot, so depending on the weather or just how you're feeling that day, you can adjust accordingly. Soba noodles do pair very well with tempura, so make sure to try some of that too. If you are out in Tokyo and want to get some soba noodles, then check out Edo Soba Hosokawa near Ryogoku Station for a place that brings out the best and finest buckwheat flour from all over Japan to give you the best soba noodles in the country. After eating all this food, it's time for some dessert. And as I alluded to at the beginning, let's try some Japanese cheesecake. To get some of the best Japanese cheesecake in all of Japan, make your way to Rikuro in Osaka. Here you can get some of the most light, airy, and melt in your mouth, perfect tasting cheesecake that will make you want to get straight back in line and buy some more. If you are in Tokyo, check out Cheese Garden on the second floor of the Tokyo Skytree Town area. Here you can get a variety of different kinds of cheesecakes along with packaged ones that make for great gifts. In the opposite direction of Tokyo, in Meguro City, you can go to Cheesecake Johan. This store is a classic, having been around since 1978, and they've used the same recipe for their delicious cheesecakes ever since. This shop is smaller than Cheese Garden and only does takeout, but there's a good reason it's so popular. Whatever flavor of cheesecake you pick here, you can't go wrong. Lastly, one of the most purchased flavors of desserts and tea in Japan, so much so that there is a shortage of this in Japan right now. This is matcha. Kyoto is considered the birthplace of matcha green tea and is one of the best places for matcha in Japan. One of the best ways to experience matcha in Japan is through a traditional Japanese tea ceremony. Check out Camellia, which has 2 locations both near major tourist attractions like Kiyomizu-dera and Kinkakuji Temple in Kyoto, making it very convenient but also offering a calm and relaxing break from the busyness of these touristy areas. If you are in Tokyo and want a matcha experience but aren't into tea, check out Suzukin Asakusa, which also is located right next to a major tourist attraction, the Sensoji Temple. This place does have matcha drinks, but their main attraction is their matcha ice cream. The ice cream itself has 7 levels of matcha, so depending on how in love with matcha or not you are, you can choose a level with 7 being the most matcha intense flavor. On the opposite side of Tokyo, once again in Setagaya City, you will find Shirohige's Cream Puff Factory, and here you will find a quaint cafe run by Studio Ghibli's Hayao Miyazaki's sister-in-law, and hence why their main attraction is the famous cream puff shaped like Totoro. You can get matcha flavored cream puffs here, but these do run out fast, so get there early if you want to try this. This is by no means a comprehensive list of food in Japan because everything in Japan is just so good and it's hard to go wrong. There will be a part 2 video with plenty more amazing foods to check out, so keep an eye out for that. But hopefully, that being said, this will give you a great start to planning your Japan food tour. What are your favorite foods and restaurants in Japan? Let me know in the comments section down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.